Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the Halloween offering from FG Square Villages, a small company based in the US that supplies Menards, but you can also purchase direct from their website or internationally from Amazon. We've already taken a look at their Christmas range, and as I mentioned then, the Psychoptic manner really put the company on the mainstream map, so join me to see if any from this year will be fan favourites or not. So first up is their big ticket item, the Bone Crusher cement plant. There aren't too many construction themed pieces in Villaging from anyone at the moment. The only other that really comes to mind is the Dead Zone construction site by Lemax, where I really do like the theme of this, but I'm probably a bit biased because I kind of work in the construction industry, supplying building materials, and this is one that reminds me of my granddad, who was a kiln burner for Blue Circle Cement. Now this building is not exactly realistic to how a cement factory works, but of course with any finished product you do need to allow some creative license. The Bone Crusher cement factory has two animated conveyors. The one on the left takes raw ingredients such as limestone, clay and their special ingredients of bones up to the factory when it gets ground up and cooked in the kiln in the middle here with the chimney between the furnace and the silo at a roughly 2,500 Fahrenheit, before it's cooled and bagged, exiting the plant down the other conveyor on the right, where this poor soul has a back-breaking job at depositing the bags and the cement into the container. There's some parts of this that I really love, such as the workmen. They are incredibly detailed. With FG Square producing great figures like this, I really wish they would start releasing their own range of individual figures instead of having the choice of Lemax or the oversized and overpriced ones of Department 56. The general design is okay. The signage is pretty cool, using bones to spell the words Bone Crusher, and the animation is also okay, but the lighting on first look appears to be overwhelmingly disappointing, especially when you compare it to what FG Square has proven they can do in the form of Gates of Purgatory. The LEDs are not very well hidden. Having them randomly in the middle of the floor just seems a little bit too lazy, certainly poorly designed I would say, like in the case of those surrounding the workers and even the blue LEDs under the skulls. The only case where they have got them right appears to be the green lights underneath the sign. Oddly, they have placed lights where no lights would be placed, such as the floor, but where there should be lights, these 5 red blobs that in real life would actually be lights, they have elected to paint them instead of, and I just don't get it. If the Bone Crusher cement plant was coming in at around $80, then fair enough. I can understand the budgetary constraints, but when you're asking for $180, then I really do expect all the bells and whistles, and something that would make my jaw hit the floor, like the overflow of the materials in this bin. Sorry FG Square, I want to love this, I want to love you, but at this price point you're making it really difficult. So not strictly Halloween, the Day of the Dead is a Mexican tradition celebrated on November 1st and 2nd, and instead of blood and slime and bumps in the night, the Day of the Dead is a much happier, brighter affair, and to FG Square's credit they've really captured this piece. The colours are really captivating, immediately drawing your eye to the yellows, greens and purples, and when you look more closely you can see that they have again created two amazing figurines at the centre that dance on this rotating platform under the Arch of Marigolds, which represents the boundary between the terrestrial world and the afterlife. Their vibrant colour and scent are believed to guide the spirits to the altar. These altars are typically homemade and use 4 elements to guide the spirit's journey. Water, which is what's presumably in this blue jug, to quench the thirst of the soul's journey. Earth, represented by food. Fire in the form of candles being lit to guide the souls back to their families, and wind, often in the form of perforated paper. This altar, or offerenda, is probably best described as a table accent rather than a building. Personally, I wish they illuminated the candles in the same way that Lemax do, especially with that flickering effect, but I'm hoping that the lighting really wails on this piece when displayed in the dark. The marigold arches has small UV lights on them, and the large green sugar skulls should be really well lit too, and I have seen videos recently where this looks the case. But there has also been some well placed lights around the rotated dancers buried in the flower beds. There are not too many pieces if your vibe is Dia dos Muertes. I've probably butchered that, so apologies if I have, but this one is one of the best that I've seen. Alas, it's been a long time since we've uncovered booty in the form of pirate Halloween piece, and this year FG Square have treated us with 2 new pieces of gold that we can commit to making a pirate themed section of our village or a vignette. First up is the Jolly Roger's Retreat, and I'm blown away by this one genuinely. The main structure of this piece has been beautifully crafted, and from the stonework to the rocks, they look really awesome. There are some other great touches too, such as the palm trees and foliage, and there's also some comical signage on this piece too. We have one pirate here tied to the mast of a sail ship with a sign that reads "Pillagers will be fed to the sharks," and you can see the fins of the sharks swimming offshore. There is some animation on this piece too. The cage lowers from Dead Man's Cove down to the shark infested waters. But the best part, and what's probably going to be the most important part of any lit piece, is how it looks at night. We can see in this picture that the lighting looks phenomenal. Just look at how that orange light hits the walls of the cave like torches cast in a jagged crown of orange fire that claws at the damp ceiling, revealing shimmering treasure below. And speaking of treasure, that allows us to segue to their next pirate themed piece, Treasure Falls. Now this one does not have any animation and it's purely a lit piece from the image released, but it does appear to light up very well, using the same orange to illuminate the interior and some traditional spooky greens and purples on the outside. These little pirates certainly have done well for themselves, as we can see that the treasure is raining down from the sky above. The rocky exterior looks awesome, but unlike the other pieces that we've looked at so far, I'm not too sure that I like these figures. I don't get a feel that they are ghoulish, scary, or anything like that. They look more like Ghibli characters, which do not really blend with anything else on the market. Now our penultimate piece is the Monster Truck Jam, and I'm trying really hard not to be too critical of this one. Perhaps it's just not my vibe, I don't know. Let me know in the comments how you feel and whether I'm missing something about it. But overall, I was pretty disappointed with this one. I do like the design of the cars and the characters, so that's great, we do have a positive. And perhaps if it was called something else or styled differently to be a kiddie ride at a fairground or carnival, maybe I'd be more invested than I currently am. But with how this is presented, I can't just shake the feeling that this is less of a monster jam and more of a hot mess. For starters, I do not like this bowl of teeth with random green ooze on the edge. It just doesn't look like a ride, it doesn't look like a stadium, it doesn't look like a racetrack, and nor do I know why there's a cross section in the middle, and why there's 4 eyes in the centre. I look at this piece and think less about the eyes and more about the whys. I suppose the teeth around the edge do have some pretty nice decaying details, but it feels so disjointed. And when I look at all the different pictures that FG Square have released, I'm even less confident that this wasn't thrown together. Some of the pictures depict 4 cars driving around the track, and some show 3 cars, with another one on the top of the mound in the middle. Further confusion arises as some of the pictures have purple lights on the front and back of the cars, yet in the video and the majority of the other pictures, these lights have been removed, making this even less appealing, leaving just 4 LEDs in the middle. Sure, they seem to have been programmed to pulsate rather than be static, but I'm still not sold. What are the chances that 4 5-volt LEDs are going to make this piece stand out in the centre of your village? Not likely, is it? This could have been way more of a standout piece if only a bit more care was shown. Something like having stadium floodlights on either side would have given more of an arena Monster Jam feel, a bigger presence, over the top grandeur that you associate with monster trucks. But with this, the name sounded much cooler than the concept. Now I really want to end this video on a high, and fingers crossed that the Serpant lighthouse is the beacon of hope I'm looking for. Mechanically and somewhat artistically, this is the same piece as last year called Lighthouse Attack. Typically a lighthouse has a light that revolves on the top. We all know what a lighthouse looks like and what it does, but maybe FG Square were getting their wires crossed literally, because this has a light on the top but it's static and a revolving Fresnel lens underneath. Fingers crossed it works as the lighthouse should, and if you bought the Lighthouse Attack last year, please let me know in the comments how effective it is. I really do like the design of this though. The giant sea creature wrapped around the lighthouse looks stunning, and the lighthouse attendees adorned in their yellow trench coats look really cute. I don't know whether this is supposed to be some kind of birdman or werewolf, but he does look really cute, obviously holding his umbrella without a clue of what fate is awaiting him. This is one of the more reasonably priced pieces this year, and is the only one below the $70 mark. If cryptid sea creatures are your vibe, then you're going to want to grab one of these for sure. And if you pre-order now, you can save 10%. Just head over to fgsquarevillage.com and pre-order yours now. Now, if you've watched other channels that have covered the FG Squares lineup, you'll be excused for thinking that I've missed one of their releases, The Menacing Midway. This piece was launched on their website for pre-orders at the same time as the other pieces, and it looks really cool. A whole scene in one piece with a small carousel and an attraction called Scareball, which presumably is a spooky take on Skee Ball. There was also a couple of figurines such as a creepy clown and a spectral lady that lights up really well, and at $150 it seemed about right for an animated piece of this size. But it's been withdrawn from the FG Square website. The only traces of is a banner at the top of their page, and if you click that there's nothing but crickets. This landing page has been completely taken down. I have contacted FG Square to find out what's happening regarding the Menacing Midway, and at the time of this video I'm still waiting for a reply. If I do get one, I would add a note into the description to give you a bit more info, but it does appear to have fallen away from 2026 sadly, and at the moment I can only speculate the reason why. Well, that's it for this video, and thanks for watching, guys. Probably on the next one we'll be doing a little bit of trivia for those of Spooky Town fans out there.